Hello everybody, this is your Torador's Extended Warranty, and you might be thinking, wow, listen to that crisp audio. Well, I finally did it. I finally bought a dedicated microphone that wasn't my Razer Siren X. Don't get me wrong, love Razer as a company, hate them at the same time, love their mice and keyboards because those things effectively last forever if you keep them clean and maintained, but a lot of people hate Razer because they feel like they're overhyped, but I've been using them for years, and when it comes to their mice and keyboard, I basically have zero complaints. I had also been using my my Arctis Nova, my SteelSeries Arctis Nova 7s, as my primary audio driver, so to speak, for recording. And for conversations, apparently that's plenty. For recordings, apparently it's not. And I would have to set up a lot of different sound software to make it sound exactly the way I want to. That wasn't something I wanted to do. Now, this is going to be a question for everyone, generally speaking. If y'all would like me to use, or if people are okay with me using AI title cards. Now, I understand that this is not a conversation about AI, and I actually made another recording prior to now that I had to delete, where I need people to understand that the genie is out of the bottle. China's already working on AI. The US is working on AI. Other countries are working on AI. It's not going anywhere. I understand people are angry about it. I understand people are mad about data centers and what have you. But that's a topic I will talk about a different day. What my main question is, are you more likely to click on one of my videos if it doesn't have AI art or a custom AI title card, or are you more likely to click it if it just looks like this, where it's just this screenshot right here of my opening of my video, and I'm talking about something? Because my most viewed video is about Pragmata, Tim Pool, Hassan Piker, Mary Morgan, and I think side-scrollers as well. And it has no title card and is my most viewed video. So on this video, I am actually not even going to put a title card, because I want to see if the algorithm just punts people down for using stuff. Like, look, I can't afford an editor, I can't afford an artist, and I am not going to learn GIMP or MS Paint or Photoshop to make something interesting as a title card. You are going to get bulk lazy me just using part of the recording as the title card. I cannot be bothered. I have a life. This is a side project for me, and unless I make it big and start getting like super massive donations or super chats or what have you, if I decide to start streaming or I set up a Patreon and people donate to that, which I'm probably not even going to do until I reach over 1,000 subs, then I kind of just, I don't know. I don't want to yap about this. Just tell me if it's something that you would prefer to see or prefer not to see, and we can go from there. At the end of the day, it's kind of what everybody wants. The content will stay mine, but the title cards will be whatever they be. We're a little bit earlier in this video than my last one, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So there's this trend I see frequently of typically white liberal women specifically, where they have this tendency to basically believe that it is perfectly reasonable that they get to generalize whoever they want to, however they want to, whenever they want to. And the only thing that I would like them to just admit is they think anything they do is perfectly fine no matter what it is. No matter how bad it is, no matter how awful it is, no matter how bigoted it is, they have double standards, and they think that's okay. That's all I want them to admit. This is not an attack on all women, on all liberal women, or on all liberal white women. This is just a known fact that it is predominantly liberal white women that do this. Not all. It also is feminists too, which, I mean, the Venn diagram at this point is basically a perfect circle. Not to say that it's a completely perfect circle, but it's close. But we're going to show you a video real quick. And I'm going to talk about this for a second. This wasn't actually the topic I was originally going to talk about. What I had planned to actually do is something entirely different that I might do at a different date, but it'll be a surprise. I just came across this and I was just like, this is stupid. So, we're going to bring this up. This blank screen. Welcome to Firefox. But here is this. So, this is by the Politidoxy with a woman called Christina Reckless. I unironically came across this video just scrolling because Instagram is a manipulative shit. But it does show you people who have influence, and this is one of your typical e-thoughts, which I know that there are people who don't find women with nose rings attractive, but I like alt girls. That's kind of my shtick. Redheaded women and alt girls. I can't help myself. It's a thing. So, we're going to listen to this, and I turned it down a bit, so hopefully it's not stupidly loud. But we're going to hear this out because this guy makes a phenomenal point, and it's worth talking about, frankly speaking.
Say I hate men.
When I say I hate black people,
A lot of you think that I hate all men,
a lot of you think that I hate all blacks.
and I don't.
And I don't.
There's a distinction.
There's a distinction.
I hate the shitty men.
I hate the shitty blacks.
I hate the rapists.
I hate the rapists.
I hate the pedophiles.
I hate the pedophiles.
I hate the ones that say shit online like, you deserve to be raped,
I hate the ones that say shit online like the only good cracker is a dead cracker.
to victims, okay?
To white people, okay?
But it's pretty fucking obvious that those are the men I'm talking about
But it's pretty fucking obvious that those are the blacks I'm talking about.
when I say I hate men.
When I say I hate black people.
Don't you think?
I mean, it's obvious, don't you think?
If there's one thing that I've learned, it's that only a kicked dog hollers. So you're only offended if you think I'm talking about you, and there's only one reason you would think I'm talking about you.
So you're only offended if you think I'm talking about you, and there's only one reason why you think I'm talking about you.
And that's because you think you're the type of man I'm talking about.
And that's because you think that you're the type of black that I'm talking about.
So, kindly, fuck off.
So kindly, fuck off. You see how that sounds when we apply it to race? Yeah? What made you think that it's going to work on sex, huh? We can only discriminate against a certain group of people. If you want to generalize things, be my guest, but then don't get mad if I were to generalize other things.
Yeah, so I'm going to pause here just to, the video is basically over, but I wanted to interrupt towards the end because, one, fair use, not that I think that this guy would, ding me, but also because he's completely right. This is something that drives me absolutely bonkers because she actually made a response to this video, which I'm not going to show because it was stupidly cringe and I don't want to get into it, but she effectively calls him a bigot. Well, no, she actually calls him a bigot. But she's like, well, this is one of the guys clearly I'm talking about. And I'm like, no. This man is doing exactly what you did. In exactly the same way you did. He mirrored your exact rhetoric to you, but replaced men and women with blacks and whites. The reality of this is the fact that you think it is justifiable for you specifically to generalize all men. And you're like, well, I'm clearly not talking about all men. Really? I think you are. I actually think what you're doing is being intentionally inflammatory. I think you're being intentionally inflammatory because you know it is going to get you shit. I think you're starting drama for the sake of starting drama, and the only people who, in your own video, responding to this entire clip, which you didn't even watch the whole thing. You called him one of the guys you're talking about. But here's the reality. The only people who came to your defense in your own comment section were other ethoughts and simps. That says a lot. Like, I understand we live in an age where clout and clickbait and all of this other stuff is the norm, but look at how many likes this has. 85K likes on an account that probably has... I'm not going to click his account. I don't know what all's over there. But on an account that probably has not even that many, like, subscribers or followers or whatever. The person in the video is a woman by the name of Christina Reckless. And the only reason I've seen her content, or people with her, is because I used to follow somebody who is, I guess, a friend of hers, who reblogged her response to the video. So let me get this, let me understand this. You think it is perfectly justifiable to generalize a group of people and then get mad when those people call you out and say, hey, could you not generalize men as an entirety? Because here's a reality, and here's something that's been bothering me for probably the greater half of my life. My family is the biggest reason I didn't fall into the OG, like, red pill thing. Where, like, because I saw it become, like, a lot of it ended up being very misogynistic, like, women-hating. But the red pill movement didn't come from nowhere. The red pill movement was actually a direct response to second and third wave feminism. That is a fact. And you can trend, or you can follow trends to see exactly when it started. Like, it's kind of wild, actually. But here's the reality. If you think it is okay to generalize an entire group of people, then it is fine that everyone else generalizes entire groups of people. Now, an intelligent person understands that when a person generalizes, they don't typically mean all. The only time you should assume that someone means all is if in the context of what they are saying, they have a history of attempting to imply all. And every single time a liberal white woman says all men or men as a plural, she is intentionally doing what she can to incite a response that is inflammatory. And it is intentionally done for clicks. And you might be like, okay, well, Tora, why? And the answer is simple. Clicks, clout, virtue signaling. It's a pretty simple prospect, really. And it drives me absolutely up the wall. If I ever make a generalization, I actually mean it as a general because unlike these people, I'm actually good faith. There are people who deem me bad faith, but that would require me actually believe bad faith things, and I don't. I actually do my best to be as logical and understanding as possible and look at varying different things from varying points of view. However, apparently, thinking logically is a crime in modern day. It is a psychological sin, and you shouldn't do that. This man didn't do anything wrong. And her own comments section in her responses to this, 95% of the comments were like, he's right though. See, this is just generally what happens. And this is broadly what happens when it comes to sex workers, e-models, or the people I refer to as e-models, e-girls online who do lewd content or nude content or otherwise, because it's always them, where they have this general sentiment of men bad. No, you don't know what men bad looks like. The funny part about this, and I say funny, not haha funny, but sad funny, is the reality that these women typically like absolute bottom feeder men most of the time. They find themselves attracted to the worst men on earth and end up dealing with the worst men on earth. And in their professions, explicitly, they deal with men who are some of the worst men on earth. Because a lot of men who are in the sex work profession or the, like, varying different positions, fun fact about predators, no matter what, like, range they go for as far as individuals, predators hunt where they find prey. If there is enough prey, they'll go there. Doesn't matter what profession you're in. It really doesn't. Producers, script writers, cameramen, photographers, other sex workers, doesn't matter. They will find a way in, and they will do what they want. But here's the unfortunate reality that a lot of these women don't understand. They will broad brush men, 50% of the world population effectively, and say men bad, men rapist, men pedophiles. Okay, what about the women who are rapists? What about the women who are pedophiles? What about the women who are gold diggers, who literally send men to jail over nothing except for spite? What about women who cheat, get pregnant, and then lie to their husbands and boyfriends and fiancés about the kid being theirs, with the man raising another man's kid for years and never knowing? I can do that too. I can broad brush all women. And I don't. I try to be as articulate as I can. I say some, I say a lot, I say most. Do I generalize typically? Yes, from time to time. But normally I make that context known before I generalize. I think people like Christina Reckless are disingenuous, and I think that they believe they are free to criticize all men. And if you have an issue with the criticism of men, TM, broad, then clearly you're one of the men she's talking about. If I were to make the exact same video and reverse women and say women instead of men, I'd have a legitimate army of e-thoughts, sex workers, and angry simps talking to, screaming at me, telling me about how I'm a misogynistic bigot. So it's fine when you generalize, but it's not okay when anyone else does. That's the problem. But there's a slightly bigger problem that I'll bring up in this video because I find it warranted. But let me actually let this man finish first, and then I got sidetracked.
Unless if we're only allowed to generalize a certain group of people and generalize them as being fucking rapists, which I thought were not allowed. The liberal believes in the same kind of shit the conservative believes, like generalizations, stereotypes, etc., etc. But they apply it only to certain groups. Conservatives apply it across the board. But liberals apply only these particular aspects and subgroups of society are allowed to be attacked and villainized and destroyed and humiliated, but not all groups. Holy fucking hell, you are all fucking retarded. And that's a generalization.
Yeah, basically. And we're going to go back to this new tab that's got nothing on it. The sad reality is, he's right. And the frustrating part about this entire thing is, it bothers me to no end that I constantly see women attack men in this manner, And it's like, well, what about all the men that do X, Y? It's like, okay. First of all, if you live in the West and you're a woman, you are statistically safer than you will ever be in your life living anywhere else. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that. Liberals especially don't like to hear that. And for the record, I'm left of center. I used to be what would be qualified as a liberal, but I can't be qualified as a liberal anymore because the reality is these people are so far gone that they're effectively the bigots they claim they want to fight. And what I mean by that, and what I'm trying to say with this particular point is, it is extremely frustrating to me that second and third world countries are some of the most unsafe places on Earth. And they're like European nations, first world countries right now, have imported the second and third world through mass migration. And they are literally suffering through spikes in rape and sexual assault. And it's like, okay, I don't know how to tell people this, but not all cultures are created equal. And liberals hate hearing that. They're like, well, this is factually untrue. You're just a racist and a xenophobe and a bigot. No, I'm not. I'm not a Christian, for the record. And I need to make that very clear and very known. I grew up in the Christian faith, but I'm not a Christian. And one of the biggest gripes I have with a lot of people who live in the Western world is they don't realize not all religions and not all cultures are created equal. Islam, one of the primary characters of the story of Islam is Aisha. Aisha's own documentation, her own story, her own words, talked about how she was married to Muhammad, the prophet in Islam, at the age of 6. And how Muhammad consummated the marriage at 9. For those of you that don't know what consummate means, it means he diddled a child. It is not uncommon that Arab men, Muslim men, will sell off their daughters to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old men. And the thing is, that is their culture. Middle Eastern countries to this day still have African slaves, but no one talks about it. The reality is, I hate talking about race in almost any capacity. I really do. And I'm always forced to talk about it because liberals are obsessed with race. And it's really bothersome. They have an actual obsession with race. And they actually, so I've talked about this before and I need to make it very clear. Liberals actually believe in white supremacy. They're legitimately white supremacists, but not in the standard, bog standard, I believe that whites belong above everyone else. No. This is a different type of white supremacy. The white supremacy that liberals actually believe in is that white people are so omnipowerful, omnipresent, and just so much more intelligent and better than everyone else that the second and third world needs them. They need to be the white saviors that come to their aid in all cases and protects them from themselves. It is literally that image of, I think Khaleesi is her name, being literally passed around by a bunch of people who are clearly not white. White saviorism is a disgusting, racist, white supremacist sentimentality that needs to stop. And a lot of liberal people, and specifically neoliberals, like New Age liberals, have this exact belief that they are better. And they're like, oh, no, I'll bow before them, I'll kiss their feet, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're internally racist against these people because you believe you're skin color empowers you to be above them, to a point where you have to ally with them to prop them up. Do you not understand how racist that sounds? Like, legitimately, it's baffling to me. I don't get it. They do not realize how racist they come off 80 to 90% of the time. It's legitimately frustrating. I've seen videos of white women walking into, like, a freaking Starbucks, talking about how she apologizes for all white people to some poor young black girl who's a barista. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? This is a Starbucks. Get the hell out of here. It's literally white saviorism. These people are actually racist. They just are too stupid to realize it. And it's frustrating. But I kind of need to get this, like, across to kind of get back to my broader point. Christian morals are the reason there were a significant drop in rapes, sexual assaults, etc. Islam allows for a lot of things because Sharia law, and you can call Sharia law a perversion of Islam, but when the Prophet is who he is and has the beliefs he has, well, that doesn't grant a lot of leeway for that particular faith. And a lot of atheists like to only criticize Christianity, only. Literally only Christianity. They leave every other faith and every other group of people alone. The only people in modern times that you are allowed to smear and demand the genocide of are white Christian cis people. The crowd that preaches love the loudest are the most hateful people on the fucking planet. Interestingly enough. They're allowed to be bigots. They're allowed to have double standards. They're allowed to be pieces of shit and be absolute assholes who hate everybody, and they get to dictate what is morality and what is not, despite being a small minority on this planet. They want to colonize everywhere that's not here with their gay race communism. They want rainbow flags over every country because that's their fucking cult. Because they were never planning to be normal about being gay. That's why several of my friends who happen to be homosexual stopped associating with the LGBT community. Because they hate the rest of you. They think you're all degenerate scumbags who are literally obsessed with getting kids in places that they don't belong to and having literal, like, sex, drugs, alcohol on steroids and, like, showing off in front of, like, people in public because none of you can be bothered to understand consent. And as a person who's into certain stuff, we're gonna just throw ropes and chains into that mix, and you can do the mental legwork yourself on that one. Yeah, I hate you people. And it's like, oh, you're saying you hate the gays? No, I'm saying I hate the LGBTQ community. Because you people are why acceptance is going down for my actually gay friends who don't make their entire personality about being gay. And yes, this is relevant to the broader discussion that we were having, because fact of the matter is and will remain, you think you're allowed to generalize literally everyone that you don't like. And most of you think you're allowed to criticize cis people, Christians, whites, men, but the moment anyone mentions women, Mexicans, blacks, Muslims, Jews, or anyone else, you get offended on their behalf. because you have a white saviorism complex that is rooted in white supremacy. And I will not back down from that point. The man on the screen was absolutely correct. And it's about time we stopped pretending he's wrong, because these ethos want to be hypocrites. I'm not a person who likes making content that is, women versus men. And this video isn't women versus men. This video is me explaining the fact that I think it is disgusting and awful that these individuals think that they have the right to make a double standard that everyone should be forced to follow, that they don't have to follow. Because, of course, it's a double standard. It is an unfortunate reality, but it's the factual reality. The amount of individuals who I've seen talk about everything as a general, it's like whiteness doesn't mean the color of your skin. It actually means being logical and reasonable and understanding. It's like, what? Do you not like? And if I can find this video, I'll try to add it in like at the end of the video or something. I don't know. But it's this woman sitting in her car. Of course, she has a fucking nose ring because it's every fucking time. And she's like, when I talk about whiteness, I don't mean like just the color of your skin. I don't mean like your phenotype. I mean being logical and, trying to be reasonable and whatnot. Because there are other types of understanding that you just don't get. And logic is bad, actually. And I'm just sitting there watching this video, and I'm like, okay, let me break down for a second what you just said. You equated being reasonable and logical to being white. And you people are supposed to be the ones that are not racist. Okay, sure. Sure, Jan, sure. These people are literally so supposedly anti-racist that they've come back around to being actually racist. Not that they were ever actually anti-racist in the first place, because in order to be anti-racist, you have to be racist against acceptable groups of people. But that's beside the point, and that's not the point of this video. So, Christina Reckless, I know you're never going to see this. Probably not. I know that the people who reblogged Wheezy looking at you aren't probably going to see this. But just understand this. You're white supremacist hypocrites calling other people bigots because you have a white savior complex, and it's sad and disgusting. And there are a lot of black people who I've met personally, having, lived in the South, specifically Texas, where they hate people like you because you talk down to them like they're toddlers and they don't know anything. And there's statistics proving that white liberals talk down to blacks because they think that they are stupid. Meanwhile, conservatives talk normal to black people. But don't worry, guys. It's totally the conservatives and the moderates who were the racist guys. I totally promise. Anyways, this has been a shorter than usual video. Hopefully I can make more of these in the future. But this has been your Torador's Extended Warranty. Let's bring back that beautiful Clamp art again. Because, love Clamp, love Tsubasa. Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles is so peak. Sakura is such a phenomenal character. Lee Shaoran just... Oh, God. I love these characters so much. The women at Clamp are phenomenal. Authors, writers, artists, just... You know what? I know that the women at Clamp aren't feminist, But if they were, this would be peak feminism right here. Fucking Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. Just, oh, yay. Love these characters. Love this entire story. Read the manga all the way through while it was coming out. Phenomenal work. Anyways, 35 minutes long. Woo. This has been your Torador's Extended Warranty. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye now.